Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to take a few minutes to talk about the issue regarding food and go a little deeper here um, with this issue regarding why I do not use food to train dogs, but even further than that, why certain motivating agents and incentives can be a problem beyond food, even food, with how change packages up in through the dog owner at the social relational level. So, understanding when the dog owner is in need of a high level of relational change, that when within the approach itself, when you're looking for certain motivating agents to create this picture of change, the problem with that is many trainers are not looking at that picture to ask very specific questions regarding the motives that underpin the picture via response with how the dog responds. And so this issue of devaluation is a very real issue, and it affects the majority of trainers, including balanced trainers. And this is the thing that I do touch on regarding this major problem in the dog training world. So, so when you have trainers who are looking for a motivating agent, they fail to consider or step back further to say, well, looking at the nature itself, looking at the process itself, with the type of influence that creates change. That's where you get into this issue of physical force and looking at defining influence at the relational level, and as with that being the actual motivating agent, the dog coming into agreement with the process. And that's very important to strip all incentives away and really, look at how change is defined. And again, this is very, very challenging for trainers based on the mainstream thinking. So you get trainers who are know there's a problem, so they'll look at a lot of those who approach training as a learning-based exercise. So this term purely positive is brought up a lot, and basically that represents trainers who don't believe in using what's defined as a correction of the word no. But to go beyond that is to actually even look at how change packages up at the relational level, and so that even where I show even quadrants are a problem. I mean, that's another a challenging thing for trainers to think about. But here the issue with this picture is that oftentimes what happens is trainers who are not looking at training as a relational changing process, they fail to see the picture, it being a problem. They'll make assumptions on at that level on the dog's state of mind. Oftentimes change hasn't happened at the level needed. So yes, balanced trainers will be more successful than those who approach training as a outright learning-based exercise, and their the type of influence happening is not adequate. It's not going to create change. However, even at the balance level, what I show is that can be a problem as well, based on this picture of change. So again, getting back to this issue of using food, if you're looking at, standing on a tenet to say, well, I'm not going to use food because there's a problem. Well, I show it's actually deeper than that. And we even get into this thing with even using praise is a problem, can be a problem. Even using any incentives beyond the process itself can be a problem based on how it packages up what it represents at the social relation level within the context of the owner change, promoting change through the owner. So this is a real critical issue to understand for people to start to step back far enough to see what I'm talking about. Because again, the issue here is if you can't identify and get very specific about what the real problem is, the problem's never going to get fixed. I mean, this is why you'll see people talking about, the problems, but again, the big picture here is that things are never going to get better until people start to really get specific And again, I encourage you to check out my website. I have lots of information. I talk about the problem. I talk about this issue of motives and response, this issue of devaluation. It's very real. It affects the majority of trainers who are approaching training, even at a balanced level. What I show training is, it's a relational changing process. That's what's really happening, whether people identify it or not. But the problem is, if you're not identifying what it really is, then oftentimes you can't manipulate and control the outcome. It's basically a roll of the dice. So anyway, thanks for watching.